Hi buddy, and welcome to the 7th part of this 2017 season as we are getting done with the formation lap. As you can see, the Saubers and McLarens rounding off the grid with Lewis Hamilton on pole position as we are getting the lights turned on. Lights out and away we go. Lewis Hamilton not getting the best start. Sebastian Vettel is going to actually go ahead of Lewis Hamilton right into turn 1. A bad start from him. Lewis Hamilton moving over and nearly hitting Vettel in the back. And meanwhile, we've got a Red Bull in the distance, not far off. Hamilton going side by side now up the hill. They're very, very close, and Hamilton's going to retake the lead. No! Vettel is actually going to retake the lead, but now Hamilton is getting him on the straight, and now Hamilton leads the race after a few position changes in only the first sector. But of course, the first sector is the easiest sector to overtake here in Austria, and I doubt that there will be many overtaking opportunities still this lap. Vettel will have to wait a little bit longer. Meanwhile, here is Max Verstappen right behind Daniel Ricciardo for P3, and Max Verstappen dipping a tire off the track. Last race, things got a bit sour as they were battling. Daniel Ricciardo not leaving the space and pushing Verstappen into the wall, giving Max a puncture and wing damage. Max really pushing now, glowing up. Oh, and he's gone off track. He has gone off track, and I assume that is going to be a warning. And here is Kimi Räikkönen very, very close behind. And Max Verstappen is trying to break the toe. Nothing really doing there. But as you can see in the distance, Valtteri Bottas with a bad qualifying behind the Williams of, I believe, Felipe Massa. But meanwhile, here we have it. Lewis Hamilton leads to Sebastian Vettel, then Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, Kimi Räikkönen, Felipe Massa, and Valtteri Bottas. And in the back, I can see the two Force Indias as well. Lewis Hamilton really dominating at the moment. He's gone. Oh, and that's Sebastian Vettel, and he's out of the race after being in P2. Yet another bit of bad luck. In only the 7th race of the season, he keeps having this terrible, terrible luck. He did get 2 wins, but he's also DNF'd a couple of times while in high positions, and this is exactly what Lewis Hamilton wants in this situation. He is, well, his rival is out of the picture. Completely out of the picture. It is very, very interesting here as we are under safety car conditions. Max Verstappen pits in very early. Does anybody else pit in? This will be interesting. It doesn't seem that they do. Actually, I think in the distance, Nico Hülkenberg, or one of the Renaults, is coming into the pits. They got some wing damage, so they are in the pits. Or they were in the pits already before the safety car came out. Max Verstappen now on the super soft tires. Lewis Hamilton still on the ultra softs. Almost everybody. It's a safety car on lap 2, with many, many more laps to go. So most people deciding maybe it's not best to pit in yet. Max Verstappen going for the gamble. Of course, this will sacrifice his late race pace. But at the moment, he has it all to make up because he is lost as he goes off track. Yet again, quite bumpy there. He is absolute lost. Apart from, actually, here is indeed Nico Hülkenberg, who is a bit slower, because a bit further behind because he did pit before the safety car. He did have damage on lap 1. So Max Verstappen not lost, second to last. And he has a lot to do. He'll have to overtake these cars for position. The safety car is leaving. Lewis Hamilton leads to Daniel Ricciardo, actually. Yeah, of course, because now Sebastian Vettel is out of the race. Daniel Ricciardo in the perfect position to fight for a win. Will he be able to do it? He had a great start to fend off Max Verstappen, as now we are away. Hamilton with a pretty good restart. So does Daniel Ricciardo. Hamilton a bit further ahead, but mostly due to his engine power. The exit of Daniel Ricciardo was pretty good. He had a pretty good restart. Kimi Räikkönen, however, also with a very, very good restart. He's right on the back of Daniel Ricciardo. Will he go round the outside, down the inside, round the outside he goes. Will he be able to... Oh, and there's yellow flags being waved. Why though? unclear at the moment, and meanwhile Daniel Ricciardo is being squeezed off, pinched by Kimi Räikkönen. Some very, very aggressive defending is, very lucky not to have a crash there. Meanwhile, the two Force Indias, you can see on that Perez does have floor damage and some damage to the side pods. Yeah, the two Force Indias still side by side. No love lost though, as more tire banging, and it is Ocon. No, it's not. Perez goes round the outside right at the very end, almost off track there, just behind Bottas, who is just behind Massa in front of him. Bottas on the faster tires, fresh as well, because of course he was able to he didn't have to push it under the safety car conditions. Will he be able to overtake Massa? I think he will, but I don't think there's DRS yet, so that will make things a bit more difficult. But Mercedes power versus Mercedes power, you would think it would be the Mercedes to win. Let's see, on board with Massa, and you can see in the mirror, Massa moving a bit. That's unsettling Bottas, but here comes Bottas down the inside. Massa unlocks. And there's a bit of contact from Bottas as well. Yeah, Bottas quite aggressive there. Now Massa just almost putting Bottas in the grass, leaving no more space than he absolutely has to, and Massa's doing a fantastic job actually, still very, very close, but now with that exit that Bottas got, he is ahead. Meanwhile, here we have Lewis Hamilton, and as we can see, he is leading quite convincingly, a beautiful gap to Kimi Räikkönen and Daniel Ricciardo behind what seems to be a pretty clean-cut win for him. He had a very clean-cut win in, it was Spain, I believe, and this will do absolutely everything he needs to win the championship. He was in a fight with Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. Max Verstappen is right now cutting through the grid, the slower cars, but right now he's not even in the points yet, and Sebastian Vettel, of course, is out of the race. So as things stand, things are very, very favourable towards Lewis Hamilton, but here we are on board, not on board, but just tracking the motion of Max Verstappen down the inside of Alonso. Alonso going off track a bit. Max very aggressive. An impressive overtake on Fernando Alonso. Not easy to make the move on the Spaniard. He has made it work though, and he's catching up now to the Haas of Romain Grosjean, I believe, who is part of a 4-car train. Max Verstappen, of course, on the fresher rubber, and I believe he will be able to make quick work of these slower cars in front of him. Just biding his time. He has to wait a bit and can't quite overtake. But now, with a bit of slipstream, is he going to make a move? Down the inside here, a very, very tricky move. Will he commit? He will! Goes down the inside. A lot of grip needed to make that work, but it seems, he jumps across the curb, and he's gone off track, and he does not have the position. Romain Grosjean regains that spot, and Verstappen, unfortunately, not quite making it work. And he jumps across the curb again. But not all 4 tires were off track. It seems to be a legal move, but with all of that fighting, the cars are very, very close behind him, and now there's lots of battling going on as Lance Stroll is overtaking. And here is meanwhile the Sauber of, I believe this is Marcus Ericsson, and he is out of the Grand Prix. There he is with some sort of engine failure, smoke bellowing from there. Lance Stroll meanwhile still in the battle with Fernando Alonso. He's going to overtake him with that Mercedes engine versus the Honda. But now, not quite working. Of course, Fernando Alonso on the racing line with the softer tires, and that's a fantastic move from Fernando Alonso. Amazing, amazing stuff. Stroll will have to wait a little bit longer, but he may not have the time as Jolyon Palmer is right behind him. Palmer not being the most impressive during this season, but he has been able to make things work when necessary. Pitting in now as a lot of cars are coming in. Palmer, Alonso, and quite a few cars up ahead. I believe the Mercedes is just at the end of the pit lane, as I could see from that camera angle. But now let's see who will come on top of this little midfield battle? Will it be Palmer? Will it be Stroll? Will it be Grosjean? It seems has jumped Palmer. Wow! So that has been some good stuff from Grosjean. He was already ahead at the beginning, but then with some battlings, now there's even more battling, and because of some... Oh my goodness! Slow cars getting in the way, but as I was saying, Romain Grosjean was ahead of Palmer and a couple of people initially, but then it was slowed down. But thanks to a good pit stop, he's yet again ahead, as now Lewis Hamilton is stuck behind a slow-moving car and it's not getting out of the way. Oh my goodness. Maybe it has not pit yet, in which case it is for a position, which would explain the very aggressive driving there. As I did not see any blue flags, but wow, not what Lewis Hamilton needs whatsoever. With a bad string of laps, he is already behind Max Verstappen, and even though he's on the softer tires, he may not be able to catch him up with this. Meanwhile, Felipe Massa is currently the race leader. He has yet to pit. Will he pit in now? It seems as though he will. Meanwhile, oh, there's a Renault and a Ferrari. Kimi Räikkönen versus Nico Hülkenberg going side by side there. Kimi Räikkönen with the grip. He's been doing some amazing moves around the outside all race long, and that is one of them. Right now, oh, and it's Nico Hülkenberg who's right in the slipstream, but Kimi did have his DRS. If it was not for Kimi's DRS, the slipstream would have helped Hülkenberg get ahead of Räikkönen, because of course Hülkenberg was catching up a lot, even though Kimi Räikkönen had DRS. There must have been a lot of a very low downforce setup for Nico Hülkenberg, but meanwhile this is Lewis Hamilton catching up so much to Max Verstappen, as Max Verstappen's tires are very bad. He's slipping a lot, and Lewis Hamilton with such a good exit, with such DRS, he's right on the back of Max Verstappen. As we can see, Lewis Hamilton is right behind. He has got slipstream. Max Verstappen trying to break the toe, but this is it for the lead. Lewis Hamilton goes round the outside. Will it be able to work? Max Verstappen some late braking, but Lewis Hamilton has got the position. No, maybe not quite yet, as they are going down the hill. But no, Max Verstappen still behind Lewis Hamilton. He's got slipstream. Lewis Hamilton has got DRS. And Max Verstappen down the inside with some amazing late braking. Very slow though, but Lewis Hamilton was not able to re-overtake him. Wow! Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen with some very intense battling there, as Lewis Hamilton though catching up so much yet again. He is a bit wobbly, but Max Verstappen is just that bit less confident in his tires. As you can see, Lewis Hamilton making some small corrections, but now, is he going to go down the inside? No, he thinks better of it, but he will have a very good run on Max Verstappen into turn 3, into turn 1 perhaps already. He's got DRS. Is he going to do the move? It does look like he will. I thought maybe he would wait till turn 3. That would be a very easy move. Oh, and there's contact. Max Verstappen not letting Lewis Hamilton get past. He has hit Hamilton. Hamilton has to wait a little bit longer. He's so close behind now. He's going to go up the hill yet again. Second time lucky. What will happen? Max Verstappen braking so late. And he is. Oh, and he's sliding. He's sliding so much. He did well not to put it into the wall. He was on track to go completely T-boning the wall. Lewis Hamilton is ahead. Oh, and he's locked up. So many different twists and turns. Anytime one driver makes a mistake, so does the other. And this is actually allowing Daniel Ricciardo, who was able to jump Kimi Räikkönen via pit stops. Daniel Ricciardo is now in P3 and will be hunting down Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. But now Valtteri Bottas... no, this is not Valtteri Bottas, this is Lewis Hamilton, who now goes round the outside, but meanwhile Valtteri Bottas in the background is trying to overtake Daniel Ricciardo. What happened to Kimi Räikkönen? Max Verstappen with the DRS. Lewis Hamilton without DRS. Maybe he will try to overtake Max. It's not working quite yet, however, as Max Verstappen leads going up the hill. What will happen? Oh, and it's 4 wide, about. And what will be going on here? Max Verstappen down the inside. Oh, and he's pushed them off. Max Verstappen pushes the 2 Mercedes off track. And that is Daniel Ricciardo, who leads the Grand Prix on the final lap of the race. Daniel Ricciardo leads, and now it's Kimi Räikkönen trying to overtake, I think it is Bottas around the outside. What is going on? It was very tight, a 4-way battle up towards the top. Daniel Ricciardo, the furthest behind. Max Verstappen tries to go down the inside. He's not given quite enough room by Hamilton. He pushes out a little bit, which in turn knocks Bottas a bit. And Daniel Ricciardo is on his way to score his first win of the season. Max Verstappen very, very close behind. Daniel Ricciardo on the 7th race of the season becomes the 6th winner of the season. A fantastic race for Daniel Ricciardo, where he did start 3rd. He was in a position where we thought he might get the win. It is a Red Bull 1-2, a fantastic result for the team.
So another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
And I can see now the drivers are making their way out. We need Red Bull fighting at the front. They do an incredible amount for Formula One. And that's another winner's trophy heading back to Milton Keynes. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Difficult call, but I'd say Lance Stroll. He was committed the entire race, and it's paid off with the result.
That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.